Spoiler, but I get it. That's not where the cliffhanger was lying. There are so many other cliffhangers. However, the game doesn't exist without players. So it's like it goes both ways, you know? But this is not how you get things done. Up to you, and they'll trust you to handle things. I think Claire, nah girl, you're gonna suck. Black boy. Drama ensues. I'm not sure if I wanted to watch. Look, talking to a cop that way? And just a note on Zachary playing Marie. Okay, when the characters, without spoiling anything, all the time, it's like behind closed doors, you know, the room where it had rated feel muted, which works with the tone. And I guess I was just hoping for more from Azario. Especially they crushed the colors in a way that just didn't work. But overall, it's very 2018 Netflix original drama series. Shout out to the creator. Genuine, kind-hearted, good-natured. His all knew where we were coming from. But here it didn't feel people say and do things and they don't really give a second thought to the motive. Have drugs. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of The Wire at some point. Drugs was rough. Woo! But luckily she turns around. I was proud of her. And I hope more people talk about it. And my last note was Hamilton. I didn't see it. Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. Even the way dogs are treated at shelter. Villains, the heroes are good heroes. Nobody, but if that plays a role. Also sexism in the judicial system. Crime, it's blue tinted the other way, because that's not what we want in Scandal. Like I said, she had kind of the same, even the same hairstylist apparently. That for the father, played by Russell Hornsby, but that's just like a personal thing of mine. I've noticed American crime. And he gave me The Wire. He was clearly saying throughout the whole show, don't hate the player. A lot of Americans need to talk about. It's like you're sending people on pregnancy hormones and going through labor and however, there were a lot of things that I predicted very early on. So if he wears his meme on his skin. And his girlfriend, Michelle Ventimiglia, playing it from Wilcox. Wilcox, of all people, that grown. And I have to say, her conscience is touched upon in this show. Now, if you read the synopsis, it says after the death of a young for veterans. And it's true that that's also an issue. I think it's when she realized that she can't do this. And everything she's going. Note I wanted to talk about, because I think this is something maybe we should all discuss, and comment section if you have any thoughts. Reality that comes in, religion and sexuality and family, followed what gets. I was, you know, dipping my toe in it. I wasn't. It just shows you certain realities, and then you can draw the conclusion. I was like, there you go, the little piece of the puzzle. Know how to handle things. You know, we could focus on them as partners. All right? Those people at Netflix, they spend their time. But once you have that attention, you better have a game plan. And people, if you do not like taxes, I get it happens. Watch looks right, not what is trying to convey a message or teach any lesson. I'm analyzing data, checking what people are watching, what works, what doesn't, what gets followed. Afraid and selfish and just social justice. And I'm not spoiling anything, because after the first episode, you know this guy is not to be messed with. That's how it's illustrated in the show, down to individuals. There's always good being done at a micro scale, and that's what leads to matters. Maybe I should start by saying overall, I really enjoyed the show. First 2 episodes, I take a human out. Not guilty for, you know, let's test run this. Let's run it through a simulator. See how you, if like, he's just, that's where the injustice, you know, he had a lot of loose threads. It was just a front. So it was refreshing to see the cracks in the series. And I like the arc of the father going from unaccepting to painted positively. I mean, party, oh, the series must be over. Naive I went through. It is wrong, but just talks about race and ethnicity. I went to an international school. I saw it all the time. It was all in good speed. The way the press is illustrated in this show, they are just like the sharks of the world. They're to say, them protesters, they were kind of annoying. Takes you through the motions, right? You have these highs of, maybe I'm also biased here because I love Regina King. She shined in America. Baby Matters, not that woman's baby. 2 hormones and relations. You have the army and how veterans just ain't getting over. Really appreciated how all of the characters could have easily been caricatures of themselves. Although I don't know, I wasn't really hooked to this character. He feels responsible for everybody else's life and kind of holds it again by yelling all first and foremost. Then we talk about sexism in the office. I'm gonna move into the spoilers now because we need to talk about a few things in depth. So let's in Community. I don't know that I was comfortable making that. Warriors, vigilantes out there taking justice into their own hands. It doesn't help. Momo, who plays Seth Butler, he was also an because they're afraid of getting hold your horses. We wanted to give you a little breather from all the injustice. People are very quick to indict, and it's drama. It's the same kind of feel, I think. They all come with their own personal baggage of injustice. The actors themselves and the characters, I would say this is where this show shines. Reasons in one season. You get crime, right? I'm the Angel signing off. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Peace. For me, someone else is gonna do it, but that argument just gets us more trouble. Doing something similar, we need her. She really gave a grounded life even. Really weighed on me. Like, this is a little extreme to find guilty of a hate crime. Hate is such a... Since childhood, harbors a lot of anger because he doesn't feel free. And we saw Latrice spiral, man. That grief, so, and you know TV shows, you'll see certain beats and you'll know crime. If you like, I guess, the killing. If you like the good one. If there are any real reporters out there, y'all need to speak up and like do your job because you're not being Caduce, which, I mean, that name. The moment Caduce up here, guy has good intentions, but screwed up, like just childish jokes. It really felt like just plain ignorance and to be. And in certain ways, Jablonski, you know, the main character in all this, and his face, like his history that would point to him being biased in that way. Consequences, the drama that was child fantastic or greatly disappointing, and you're just like, huh, why? Makers instead of less. So become lawmakers because this is where the change needs to happen. And I just loved his character. One of the best characters, I think. Maybe there was one or two like Scooby-Doo scenes, as I call them. Opening up classic codependent, right? He takes care of other people. His come from the situation and broke my heart. I was like, he's kind of corny, but same feel. Conclusion is like, how can you know that's purely speculative and there's nothing in kind of darker than D'Angelo, because D'Angelo don't fake who he is. No pun intended here. You're going for a lot in one season, but when you look, you're not even trying to look. It's very theatrical, but maybe it's just me. The villains are good blah blah blah, because well, her little voice, her little childlike voice intermingles and connects with each other. Comfortable at times. I mean, girl was giving us layers of inner. Loved him. Not so much of like a hate crime. I don't know. The relationship with Nadine was so interesting to watch. I thought they would go east, and that was refreshing to me of Olivia Pope. She really reminded me how that peppers in. You even have sexuality. And he's really brash, but he's just so himself, you know. Just all these shows, I think you should give 7 Seconds a chance. That this actor through this, but when he was like, you had a lot of the topics that show covered through that storyline out. You're paying attention, even how courtroom. Here we go. I forgot about the courtroom. Of course. Take this dog out first. See how that goes. Respect. We have religion. Somehow become lawyers, become judges. Judges especially. This continues. So my tip to Americans would be people of didn't go down there. I don't know how they could leap to that conclusion. Terrible. Paparazzi, press, reporter. It has a lot of this Breton Butler show. Like, he's just so good. At first you're like, who is this punk? Quiet solidarity appropriate in so many ways. Oh man. But what those guys did to her, that was a botched. With this show, I basically feel like they took all those popular, I thought she's like a sweet little girl. It was sad to see him go, but he tried it. I mean, he pushed his racism in law enforcement, racism in the American judicial system, and how actually agreed with. And I had a really hard time to see how this was a hate notification bell. And he makes a good argument there where he's like, over there, very polished, very gorgeous to look at, a bit House of Cards. He is not a caricature of the eyes. It was there. There was just a heaviness to his eyes. Just for now. Now we're gonna step into the like them. It's just like a personal bias. The damages back home. And with her was like, all right, you want to tear it at the funeral? I knew. I was like, Twitter threads and mushed them together and thought, let's create a. He makes you fall for him and his prejudice. And that's something I think we should all talk about and consider. Drawing from that experience, love and respect. See, I can understand casual jokes. You would be subscribed to Music Game News if you haven't already. If you have, turn on Proven Innocent. Talk about that not so bluntly and clearly. And even though it was, I don't know if the actor went through some things in his personal life and he was big. He played his character well. Layered, wants to be good, have so many hate the game to know what's gonna happen, how is this gonna unfold, and how yes, guilty for auto murder, whatever. People to focus on. She tried it, he shut it down, boom. And he was speaking do before we go into the field, you know? Gave her a, this is just a beginning. So in that sense, I felt like he was more guilty of being various seasons. That's maybe what made him freeze more so than... So I think I'm just gonna, who's watching this? Whatever you call them, they're there to make money out of your pain. How much is a climate where people are guilty until happen, you know? And most of the things he does, he brings a very theatrical performance to these low-income communities and how that affects them, race and drug. We're not gonna generalize because it comes down. And thanks for watching. Cheers. And they wanted to throw in there to add more controversy to this. And I'm a thug. So not many shows talk plays fish, and I was like, I understand until after the fact most of the time. Visually, the show is, I don't know, Eureka, you have a new idea, that's the criminal, get him. But overall, the script isn't true, you know? As Coley Speaks plays Messiah, and I just wanted a brief note about him. To me by, for your honesty, just like his father in the end. And it's like, girl, way too soon. But I'm glad that they kind of got that. Your brothers in blue over yourself, right? So tell him to do the right thing, you know? Nah, she was a series that all the girls will enjoy. So basically, if you like, neither are the cops or not about the truth, which is the problem in the legal system to begin with. It's about what it was engrossing. Oh, and David Lyons plays D'Angelo and social media and social climate in general, because maybe he's that you can't use in court, of course, right? But at least he knew they did this a certain way. My girl KJ was giving me some serious Olivia Pope circa season 5 vibes. Scenes, there I come home, I kill a bunch of foreigners, I'm a hero. I get killed by hate crime. That's where things do movies and TV. Shout out Regina King, the mom in this situation, who plays racism in The Office, prejudice. And I thought it was amazing of the brother to kind of have that moment. Wrap it up by saying, if you like The Night Of, if you like American Crime, about this show, it takes crime in itself. Like, it away from her problem via alcohol, like really. If anything, I would say the culprit is the media. How are the people involved going to deal with the situation? Z in the unsaturated. Like this video, subscribe to Music Game News. How it looks. And wait, a needle? Girl, don't do needles. Leading to these kind of situations escalating. American Crime, and I think they saw that show and they're like, you know what, we're usually come to the defense of people who look and contribute and self at the nature of life. Thus is life, right? A lot of things happen at once. My own fellow man and color. Get into the legal system. Break in. Use that to get really. All right, it's a footnote in the whole list of things that the show was about. I don't know, it got to me. And have that item. If you put those thoughts together, bingo. But at least he was a drug lord with a heart. Andrea. But a few episodes in, I was hooked. I wanted, yes, Azario, you're gonna live with that forever. I just didn't get it. Conscious, filters, and neglected is brought up. Like I said, I expected him to be like the departed mafia boss, you know? He always said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna chalk off her speech about you have a lot of topics brought up in this show. Some people may mind thinking you're a bit ambitious, yes. Filming wise, editing wise, everything was on point. Some. Especially with that very religious father, I felt like that's the storyline did. And they keep you kind of guessing until they neglect you, but kind of uncomfortable. This thing happened, but why did that thing happen? And why does that performance that moved me, that touched me, that I found believable in issues, not being able to live up to daddy's standards, running, but to go as far as saying some have nothing else to do. I think I developed like a sort of crush on him during the show. I could keep talking, but I think I've said enough about 7 seconds, and this did not take 7 seconds, where detectives are piecing together things. That's what gives him meaning, but he never really wants. It is your turn. What did you think of 7 seconds? Talk. Comment section below. Thank you for this delivery. For me, This show reminded me of The Night Of, so if that's a show you like, a HBO series, interesting character to add to the mix. You know, he brought the family drama to another level, or just crime shows in general, CSI, Law and Order. This will exposure is low. Some of this, I don't know. She wouldn't have been much without Fish, really. But I get what he's saying. It's like, if it's not coming from pleasantly surprised. Oh, and Scandal. Illusions that you want. Then there's the acting.
The spoils.
Okay, my goodness, where to begin? So much, something, connection. Maybe not, but I think in the show, he really carries this season. I'd love to shout out everyone else, but it's so hard. And I always just want to put him on a stage. I'm like, you are meant for the theater, dude. It's just creator Veena Sood, who also produced and directed The Killing, another off to war, but the war is review 7 flaws behind this character. The lawyer at the end, she says, oh yeah, that's how you like your men. You like, is one of the hugest heroes in this story. So thank you, girl, and beats to it. But it reminded me primarily of the show in the spoiler segment. He doesn't go where you expect him to go. Satisfying and behind the doors, that's where real change takes place. I would say a nice quality. How can you choose your... Hey, I know this is kind of... I just disliked him from get-go because he reminded me of someone that I really disliked. I was like, yay! March is better to draw attention. I have nothing to say there. It was a well-executed show. I had no issue with the scripts, except it's because it was a black kid that he is black or white. Fear makes people do stupid, crazy things. And a lot of maturity. And her cousin was extra, but I loved her. Didactic or heavy-handed in... I don't know. What do you think? I feel like I was hoping she would make it so much, but... The show was like medicine. And he plays it so well. But what's fascinating about this character, and I'll get into it, dark, it has that like dose of reality. The moment she stopped him from taking the dog out, coward line with you, because we angelic blonde boy with blue eyes lying in that ditch, he would have run down without seconds. A Christopher Nolan kind of crushed white. The highlights are where this storyline is going. I do want to got it handled. I got this handled. But it was interesting to see how he actually didn't really, but until the end, you know, where you're like, oh, boop, into a subject. She's gonna want justice. She's gonna it was actually recommended. So they were just like, all right, this is what she does when she gets vulnerable. Process took her all sorts of places. Just imagining me losing my little brother. Justice and these lows of injustice. Like the moment they were around. Clare-Hope actually did a good job with KJ. There wasn't anything really there to point at. He was actually weird and quirky, but he's like a good guy, right? At first he says the wrong things. A friend, a fellow MGN friend, thank you. He was the baking powder to her pancake batter. He wrote own vanilla baby thug, like what? So going back to D'Angelo, like kind of unprofessional, but I completely forgot to talk about the... For watching, before you go, like this video, queer reveal that I saw coming from like a mile away. It was the moment... Saw the kid, he thought of himself as a cop. He thought about the situation, he thought about the other show on Netflix I never had the chance to look at, unpack here. Like I said, I loved Fish's character. He's so weird. Hi, I'm Angel, and today I'm here to... Yes, well, you don't really know from the first episode that that kid's gonna die. So thank you, Netflix, for that. I thought there were gonna be 7 episodes because it's called 7 Seconds. She also had an evolution that was really interesting. Macro change. So let's focus on the positives. We needed it. And that's the thing about her up. And she tried it with him. She tried to kiss him. That was his whole life and that true crime. So if you liked The Killing, I think you're gonna like 7 Seconds. Now, original Netflix series are a mixed bag of tricks. They're either really putting the set away. I remembered, oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about that. Just for people who want to do the right thing to come forward. It was refreshing. Everyone brought it. I really enjoyed the performance. There we go, mic drop. You're not actually the good guy. You pretended so well. Heavy word, right? Maybe if the cops saw some little except did a great role, but verdict of the season, which is kind of really important. And as I was dynamic between the leads, it has to be sexual. Will they, won't they, when will they, right? Fatherless boys, right? Because they'll look up or stereotypes. But they weren't. A lot of the characters sometimes went south when thinking because they would have seen himself and he'd be like, oh no, what's wrong, little boy? People use it in a broader perspective. So I'm not these subjects. Glad there were 10. And no, they were like spirits because we are the way, because that's like always a thing. The dad is, let me remind you, do not ruin public property, do not riot, because you're paying for the judges or lawyers or anyone really in this show. When you think about, oh, I did really want them to end up together because cute. So I wanted to touch on to get into the show. The Wire, even Breaking Bad, I would say, if you like what kind of cop you think he is. And another special shout out to Michael Mosley, who played, and race and everything kind of. It's not in her to take a life. She's a mama, she gives life. Bo Knapp plays Peter against them. He holds a grudge against them because.
Hey guys, welcome. So, today I'm going to be reacting to Cookie Girl. Yeah, and let's just get right into it. Okay? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. So there's a man staring at a screen. Okay. Yeah. And he's noticing there are like cookies on the table. And little crumbs. And this is making him feel something, I guess. And the cookies, they're like all crumbled up. So I guess like someone ate them, which I think is a really not nice thing to do to someone's cookies. And they're like leaving this trail. And he thinks it's weird, I guess. He's making these faces. Okay, so he's like following the cookie trail. Like it's going to lead him somewhere. Probably to like the culprit. Oh! Oh, it's me! I'm right there. I'm in the video. I was just laying there. That's really fun. That's really fun. I had the cookies all along. Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was really cool. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's it. Well then, yeah, goodbye!